Welcome, FNusa57 here. Once again, I'm back on my Xbox Series X. Today I'm playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and I will be showing you the brand new solo XP glitch that you can do to level up your weapons and get a whole bunch of XP. So, obviously I mentioned you can do it solo. You can also do it in co-op. Arguably, it is easier in co-op, and I will break down exactly how to do it and how it works. So if you like that longer format video, then possibly consider dropping a like, maybe even subscribing for more content. With that being said, let's get right into it. So we are going to need to play the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 DMZ game mode. And if you want, bring in either a contraband weapon or bring in your insured slot weapon. This way you can bring in the exact weapon that you want. For the purposes of the video, I'm using my insured slot since it's the only weapon that I actually have basically at low level. It's only at level 2. Once you're ready, you can turn off squad fill and go ahead and deploy. As far as what else you bring in, it doesn't really matter. I do recommend the stim and thermite grenade and munitions box, but it is personal preference. Like I said, this can be done co-op and it can be done solo. It's going to be a slight bit RNG dependent as to how quick you can get started, and that is simply going to depend on where you are spawned on the map. So, once we get into the game, I'll explain exactly how it works.
Contact.
Alright, here we are in the DMZ. So the very first thing that we're going to need to do is we are going to need to locate some money. We'll need 18,000 at least in order to get this done. And what you want to do is find a secure nuclear materials mission on your map. Now keep in mind, if you're doing this solo, then you will obviously be at risk of running into another team. So the way that this works, and whether or not the base factor is a glitch or not, I can't actually tell you, but every single action that you perform in this game, including time spent, but everything outside of kills, is counted as XP, and that XP is counted for your weapon, the weapon that you have equipped. So just make sure that you have your weapon equipped, the weapon that you want to level up. It needs to be the weapon that's out. So everything that gives XP will actually give weapon XP in a at least proportion of that. For instance, opening this cash register, I got 25 XP, and that is going to credit to my weapon as well. Now, the way these nuclear material contracts work, they're multi-step contracts, and it'll mark a spot on your map with basically a toolbox that has Geiger counters in it. You're going to need to open that toolbox, and it should have more than one Geiger counter in it, but if it doesn't, then it's a glitch. So if it has one counter, you're going to pick that up. I recommend that you stow it, then go into your inventory and equip it. At which point, you're going to have to pull out your Geiger counter when you get within these circles, the green circles marked on your map, and then you're going to be looking for two little hidden objectives. Now, while you do this, you can have your weapon out that you want to get XP for. When you get to about 9, you're almost right on top of the radioactive container, which is going to have money in it, some random items, and a nuclear material. Now, that nuclear material is extremely important because that is the item that is worth so much. So I would say if you get lucky, the safe contains about 5k money. If you're extremely lucky, the safe will actually contain about 10k, or this little radioactive cash, I should say. So go ahead and loot that. You'll get the money automatically. Sometimes you get durable gas masks or radiation blockers. You don't really need those. I got extremely unlucky there, and in raw cash, I only have 4,700, but that's actually okay. The next thing that you want to do is you want to locate the nearest buy station on the map. Ideally, a buy station that is not in a pile of enemies. Unfortunately, there is no buy station near me that is not in a pile of enemies. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the one north of there. and I am going to mark a vehicle since we're going to need to travel. And we're going to need to travel quite a ways. But we have 2 nuclear fuel material in addition to the 4,700 cash. And that nuclear fuel material is worth 10k a piece. It's worth exactly the same amount of money whether you extract with it or if you choose to sell it in-game. So we're going to choose to sell it in-game. And I will meet you there at the buy station because it doesn't really matter. The glitch is going to start to take effect once we actually get to the buy station. But everything you do in between entering the game and exfilling the game is also going to credit weapon XP for the equipped weapon. Now, once we're at this buy station, hopefully you don't have any enemy players near you. If you do, like I do, it's going to be more difficult, but you'll want a couple of armor plates. You'll want to buy the LTV with turret. That is the most important thing that you can possibly buy. And then we're going to take that and we're just going to get the hell out of Dodge. In all honesty, it doesn't matter where you go because we want to go ahead and start this glitch. So, due to the fact I'm being pursued by enemy players at the moment, even though I am not trying to PvP, I don't want to PvP, I don't approve of PvP in this game mode, I utterly hate it, and I can't stand people being inconsiderate jerks while you're trying to accomplish something and they just go and attack you for no reason at all. So please, guys, don't do that. But anyways, what we want to do is we want to show how easy this can be. Now, some of the weapons, obviously, you get kills with easily. Other weapons are not easy to get kills with. So I recommend you head to a named location. Usually a little bit later on in the game, you'll be able to find tons of enemies. And, well, now we're going to kill them easily. These are the AI enemies, because as you guys know, well, if there's even like 4 AI enemies on you at one time, they can just straight up delete you. The bots are OP as all hell. So I'm going to quickly find some enemies here and show you how we are going to turn them into weapon XP without having to worry about them really doing anything to us. I should mention, if your vehicle runs out of fuel, you can refuel it here at these gas stations. So you'll notice I'm taking damage. All I'm going to do is, with no other players here in the vehicle, I'm going to switch to the turret. And you might get shot a couple of times, especially the ones at like gas stations. But for the drastic majority of the time, what most of the bots will do is they will just kind of pile up in front of the vehicle. They may fire a couple of shots here and there, but as long as no one else is in the vehicle, especially outside of these gas stations, the bots really won't do much to you. And then if you sit in the vehicle and there's no enemies around, the vehicle will self-repair. So as you can see, that bot that ducked behind the truck, he's just paying me no mind at all, as long as I am the only person in the vehicle and I'm in the turret. Now, why that works, I have absolutely no idea. But the fun thing is, any enemy that you kill, see there's the bot, he's definitely here, but any enemy that you kill, obviously with the weapon that you have out, when you get a kill with that weapon, it counts for weapon XP. When you get a kill with this turret, and you can see he's not engaging me. I'm not doing anything special at all. I'm just sitting in the turret. I can fire the turret, and he still will not engage me. It's a weird bug. It's a weird glitch. But we can engage him, and when we kill him with the turret, that equals 100 XP. That XP is transferred to the weapon that we have equipped. So that is how we do this little weapon XP glitch, even solo. And you can go to many different places. You can pick up, like, in-town, named locations have a lot of enemies, like the police academy, the airport, the cemetery, the port, the quarry, and the oil. They all have a lot of enemies. You can also pick up the destroy supplies contract, because the destroy supplies. There's 2 supply stations. Each one is guarded by a group of enemies guaranteed. And when you plant the bomb, it calls in a reinforcement chopper. Obviously, while you're doing this, you do have to be careful of enemy players. And that's really the biggest downside to this whole thing, is dealing with enemy players. So obviously, we have to find the AI in the first place. But to be honest, they're kind of everywhere. So I'm just going to roll up in here to show that it works. We're going to aggro some of these enemies. They're just going to kind of run around. But even this RPG dude that loves to shoot at me normally isn't going to shoot at me. Every once in a while, though, you do take explosives fire. Like, the thrown grenades seem to be a little bit more unpredictable as to whether they'll attack you with them or not. But again, you can repair your vehicle at a gas station. And obviously, we're taking drastically less engagement right now. The bots are just walking around. I mean, I had one that tossed a single grenade, and that was it. Now, if I switch to, like, the driver's seat, then everything else will engage me. So I'm going to show you with a reinforcement helicopter with a lot more enemies around. But you can just go ahead and do this all the way up to pretty much the last few minutes of the game. Even if you wanted to go to an exfil, again, other players are unpredictable, but even if you were at an exfil, you could still do this exact same thing and just sit there in the turret. Obviously, that will not help you when it comes to enemy players. Now, how you do this in co-op is exactly the same. The only difference is you can have one player driving and another player who wants to get the XP in the turret. Then when it comes time to roll up on these enemies, now these guys, they're all armored, they're all armed with shotguns or M4s or SMGs, and they are deadly under normal circumstances. Like, these guys would have straight up deleted me already. But because I'm the only player in this vehicle and I'm in the turret, I can freely sit here and kill these enemies without really any issue at all. They do tend to throw tacticals, these guys, so that can make it a bit annoying with the smokes, but we've got a machine gun with an unlimited amount of ammunition, so you can just go ahead and murder them all. This isn't necessarily the best XP farming method in the game. There are some others that are faster, but this is definitely one of the easiest methods for those weapons that are just really difficult to get kills with. Maybe some of the pistols when you start out, some of the rocket launchers, the melee weapons, things of that nature that you just don't want to mess with. And all of that XP is going to be credited again to this particular weapon. So there's still some enemies left. Just wanted to show that there are enemies and they are actively engaging. I'm playing on the Xbox, so there's nothing that I can do as far as like hardware, software, anything of that nature. I'm going to enter the LTV again and then enter the turret. And basically, within a second or two of me entering the turret, now these guys are not going to engage me. Even the helicopter that drops off reinforcements is not going to engage me. Unfortunately, this only credits the XP to the person getting the kill. It does not credit the XP to the entire team. So if you're playing in co-op, outside of being easier to defend against enemy players, there isn't too big of an advantage to playing in co-op if you're doing this.
Target destroyed. 1 to go.
All of our contract XP that we get, all of our XP for visiting points of interest and whatnot, that is transferred as weapon XP as well. So that's just how it works for some weird, strange reason. But it's pretty cool that you can do that. Not the most efficient, but it's definitely an interesting glitch that you can use to your advantage if you're a solo player, or even if you're playing with a team and you want to roll up and do one of these objectives, but you don't want your vehicle to be destroyed, or you just want to get some XP on one of those weapons that you have a hard time getting kills with. It works for contraband weapons. It works for your insured slot weapons. It works for weapons that you pick up in the game, that you buy from the buy stations, everything like that. And it's all done exactly the same way. So, I hope that the video helped you out a little bit. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask. I know it's not necessarily the absolute best ideal showcase for this, but let's put it this way. I've been trying for about the past 10 hours to get the perfect recording for this, and unfortunately I've continued to run into enemy players that would not just let me go record my video. So enemy players will always be annoying. But we can just go ahead and chew through all of the AI, and at least in this one particular instance, it makes dealing with AI ridiculously easy. How long this will last, I have no idea. I'm assuming it will get patched pretty soon because honestly, it is kind of broken. At which point, once you're done and you've killed as many enemies as you felt like you wanted to kill, you can go ahead and go to a exfil station, call in the helicopter, and exfil, taking all of your loot, weapon XP, and everything out of the game with you. Remember that the fuel stations, gas stations, petrol stations, whatever you want to call them, those can refuel and repair your vehicle as long as it's not at critical condition yet. There just can't be any enemies nearby. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my absolute best to help you guys out. And if you did enjoy the video, remember, slap that like button and subscribe for more content. So, till next time, my brothers and sisters, Legion, stay frosty. Now you can see I didn't do that very long, so I only got a small amount of XP for that weapon, but I did want to show that it did count over to that weapon just so that you guys could see that. While I failed to extract because of being ambushed by another squad, we didn't get the bonus XP for extraction, but that's how it works. You can see that the glitch does in fact work with the AI. Enemy players, well, we wish we could get rid of them, but there's nothing that you can do.